The birth of Prophet Muhammad is a momentous occasion for Muslims worldwide. It is a time for reflection, celebration, and remembrance. This day, known as Mawlid al-Nabi, or simply Mawlid, holds deep religious and cultural significance for Muslims. It is a day to celebrate the life and teachings of the Prophet who brought light to the world. Muslims believe that Muhammad's arrival marked a turning point in history. He brought forth a message of peace, compassion, and submission to the one God. His teachings continue to inspire and guide millions. Mawlid is a celebration of this legacy. It is a time to delve into his life story. It is a chance to learn from his example. And it is an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to his message. This essay will explore the tradition of celebrating Mawlid. We will examine its historical origins and evolution. We will also discuss the different ways it is observed today. Through this exploration, we hope to gain a deeper understanding of this important Islamic tradition. The celebration of Mawlid has its roots in the early centuries of Islam. While the exact origins are debated, there is evidence suggesting that the Prophet himself acknowledged his birthday. He is reported to have fasted on Mondays, stating that it was the day he was born. This act signifies a recognition of the day's significance. Formal celebrations emerged later, gaining prominence around the 11th century. The first recorded large-scale celebration took place in Egypt under the Fatimid dynasty. These early celebrations were characterized by gatherings filled with prayer and reflections on the Prophet's life. The Fatimids, known for their patronage of scholarship and arts, played a crucial role in popularizing Mawlid. They organized public processions, distributed food and sweets, and held gatherings where poetry praising the Prophet was recited. This period witnessed the gradual evolution of Mawlid from individual acts of remembrance to communal celebrations. It marked the beginning of a tradition that would spread across the Muslim world, adapting to local customs and evolving over time. Over the centuries, the celebration of Mawlid spread beyond Egypt, reaching different corners of the Muslim world. Each region embraced the tradition, adding its unique cultural flavor and interpretations. The spread of Mawlid was facilitated by traveling scholars and traders. They carried with them the stories and traditions associated with the Prophet's birthday. As these stories reached new lands, they were absorbed and reinterpreted within the existing cultural frameworks. In the Indian subcontinent, Mawlid became deeply intertwined with Sufi traditions. In Southeast Asia, it incorporated local customs and rituals, and in Africa, it found expression through music, dance, and storytelling. This geographical expansion led to the diversification of Mawlid celebrations. Despite the variations, the core essence of celebrating the Prophet's life and teachings remained constant. Sufism, the mystical dimension of Islam, played a pivotal role in the evolution and widespread acceptance of Mawlid. Sufi masters viewed Mawlid as an opportunity to express their profound love and reverence for the Prophet. Sufis emphasized the importance of seeking a direct, personal experience of the divine. They saw in the Prophet Muhammad the embodiment of divine light and guidance. Celebrating his birthday became a way to connect with that light. Poetry, music, and chanting became integral components of Sufi Mawlid celebrations. They used these art forms to express their deep affection and longing for the Prophet. These soulful expressions resonated with the masses, contributing to the popularity of Mawlid. The Sufi influence on Mawlid added a spiritual depth and emotional resonance to these celebrations. It transformed it from a mere commemoration of a historical event to a heartfelt expression of love and devotion. Section 5. Voices of debate celebrating Mawlid, a blessed act or an innovation. While Mawlid is widely celebrated in the Muslim world, it is not without its critics. Some scholars argue that celebrating the Prophet's birthday is an impermissible innovation in Islam, known as bid'ah. They argue that there is no precedent for such celebrations in the early period of Islam. They emphasize the importance of adhering strictly to the practices established by the Prophet and his companions. They view the introduction of new practices as a deviation from the purity of the original faith. This perspective is rooted in a deep concern for safeguarding the authenticity of Islamic teachings and practices. This theological debate has led to a spectrum of opinions on Mawlid within the Muslim community. Understanding these differing viewpoints requires sensitivity and respect for the diversity of thought within Islam. Section 6. Navigating the Divide. Understanding historical and theological perspectives. The debate surrounding Mawlid highlights a fundamental question in Islamic jurisprudence. What constitutes an acceptable practice in Islam? This question has been a source of discussion and debate among scholars for centuries. Those who oppose Mawlid argue that any religious practice not explicitly mentioned or practiced by the Prophet and his companions should be considered an innovation and therefore forbidden. They base their arguments on the Quran and Hadith, the primary sources of Islamic law. On the other hand, proponents of Mawlid argue that Islam encourages the expression of love and reverence for the Prophet. They argue that celebrating his birthday is a manifestation of this love and does not contradict any fundamental Islamic principles. They point to the fact that many practices not explicitly mentioned in the Quran and Hadith, such as the compilation of the Hadith itself, are widely accepted in Islam. They argue that the permissibility of a practice depends on its intention and whether it contradicts the spirit of Islamic teachings. Section 7. Mawlid around the world, a tapestry of traditions. Despite the theological debate, Mawlid continues to be a vibrant and diverse celebration across the Muslim world. From the streets of Morocco to the villages of Indonesia, Muslims have woven their local customs and traditions into the fabric of Mawlid celebrations. In Turkey, for example, Mawlid is a national holiday. Mosques are illuminated with colorful lights, and special sermons are delivered praising the Prophet. Families gather to share traditional Turkish desserts and recite poetry dedicated to the Prophet. In Senegal, Mawlid is celebrated with a grand procession known as the Gamu. Thousands of devotees gather in the city of Touba, the spiritual center of the Murid Brotherhood, to participate in prayers, sermons, and feasts. These regional variations demonstrate the adaptability and dynamism of Islamic tradition. They highlight the ability of Muslims to embrace diverse cultural expressions while remaining rooted in their faith. Section 8. Feasts and Festivities. A glimpse into global Mawlid celebrations. Food plays a central role in many Mawlid celebrations. Special dishes are prepared and shared with family, friends, and the needy. These culinary traditions vary widely, reflecting the local cuisines and cultural practices of each region. In Morocco, for example, families prepare a sweet couscous dish called tafaya. This dish, made with caramelized onions, raisins, and almonds, is considered a symbol of celebration and is often served during special occasions like Mawlid. In Indonesia, people gather to enjoy a communal feast called kenduri. This feast typically includes rice, meat dishes, vegetables, and a variety of Indonesian sweets. The act of sharing food together is seen as a way to strengthen community bonds and express gratitude. Beyond food, Mawlid celebrations are often marked by public gatherings, processions, and the recitation of religious poetry. These events provide an opportunity for Muslims to come together, celebrate their faith, and reflect on the life and teachings of the Prophet Muhammad. Section 9. The Spirit of Mawlid. Beyond rituals, embracing the Prophet's teachings. While the outward expressions of Mawlid may vary, the essence of the celebration lies in remembering and emulating the Prophet Muhammad. It is a time to reflect on his life, his character, and his message. The Prophet Muhammad was known for his compassion, his humility, his generosity, and his unwavering commitment to justice. Mawlid is an opportunity to draw inspiration from his example and strive to embody these qualities in our own lives. It is a time to reaffirm our commitment to his message of peace, love, and compassion. It is a time to reach out to those in need, to forgive those who have wronged us, and to work towards building a more just and equitable society. The true spirit of Mawlid lies not just in the rituals and celebrations, but in embodying the Prophet's teachings in our thoughts, words, and actions. Section 10. Conclusion, Unity and Diversity, the enduring message of Mawlid. The celebration of Mawlid, with its rich history and diverse expressions, stands as a testament to the dynamism and adaptability of Islamic tradition. It reflects the ability of Muslims to embrace cultural diversity while remaining rooted in their faith. While theological debates surrounding Mawlid continue, it is essential to approach these discussions with respect and understanding. The diversity of opinions within the Muslim community is not a sign of weakness, but rather a reflection of the richness and complexity of Islamic thought. The enduring message of Mawlid lies in its ability to unite Muslims around the world in their love and reverence for the Prophet Muhammad. It is a celebration of his life, his teachings, and his legacy, and it is a reminder that the true essence of Islam lies in compassion, justice, and peace.